Everything in this video can be found on a public domain, and the full disclaimer is down below. Hey, welcome back to the Danger Zone. It's Ashley. Thank you big time, Peter and Jay. I appreciate y'all so much. I wish everybody lots of love and many blessings. All this time, Williams kept his mouth shut, aside from the one line that he told that reporter. We're not a racist family. Harry and Meghan have kicked up all kinds of mess, you guys, trying to make things so hard on William in particular. They're saying that William's hurt has now flipped over to anger, and I don't blame him. It's really sad because Harry and William grew up pretty tight. They were like really close at one point. And not only was Harry and William close, but my goodness, y'all, do you remember Kate totally doted on Harry? It's so strange how Harry falls for women, and if you sit back and look at his patterns, you'll know this to be the truth. It seems to go from like a real deep attraction to like a love from a son to his mother. I have personally witnessed those types of relationships. He had that exact same love and bond with Kate for years. Meghan totally knew this, y'all. She went in with just the worst attitude towards Kate. She tried everything in her power to hurt Kate. On an emotional level, she truly did. Kate and William went out of their way to make Meghan feel at home, especially in the beginning. They even offered to help to sort out this stuff with her dad that she was going through at the time. And of course, we all know Meghan said no, it wasn't anybody's business. She would handle it herself. And Meghan would not accept it, y'all. She wanted nothing to do with Kate and William. She always had a complaint about them. She never wanted to be around them, never wanted to be in the family setting. When she was, she'd just make such a scene and be nasty. They've even been escorted off party property. They've even been asked to leave dinners. They would go to these special dinners that the royal family would host, and they would be asked to leave because of the way they would behave. They would either be arguing and fighting or all over each other, if you know what I mean. How absolutely uncouth, tacky, embarrassing. And Kate would try to make excuses for Harry and Meghan's behavior even still. Williams always felt like he needed to protect Kate from the situation. Even though Kate would try her best to be friendly with Meghan, William always wanted to protect Kate, and he still does now more than ever. This phone call that happened after the Oprah interview between Harry, his dad, and William was meant to stay between the three of them and not go anywhere else. They wanted to pick up where they left off when everybody settled down and cooled off. And as we've all been told, of course it didn't work out that way. Meghan had to share this immediately with Gayle and Oprah. And of course, as we all know by now, Gayle took it to her morning show and decided to tell the world. Nothing was productive about that phone call. So now Harry is saying that he's going to continue putting the pressure on his family until they decide that they're going to handle everything his way, the way he wants it handled. Because after all, it was Harry and Meghan who suffered the most while in the royal family. This is where it really gets nasty in my opinion, but Harry said not only will he use this pressure tactic against his family, but he also wants to share all the receipts that they have. They'll be putting those out, trying to get the royal family's attention. Until they do, they'll just keep doing it. Leaking stuff and leaking stuff. That sounds super familiar. Where have we heard that before? Mr. Markle used the exact same threat. He said he was going to spill Meghan's secrets monthly until she spoke to him. This is all so weird. The reason why that phone call wasn't productive is because William and Charles straight up asked Harry for the receipts, quote unquote, that they had. And of course they refused to produce them. So they don't want to iron anything out. They just want to cause a lot of trouble. And none of this is sitting well with William. He's blown his top. He can't take no more of this garbage from his brother and his brother's wife. So now he has a team of attorneys. They're ready to go after Harry and Meghan legally. Everything they've been putting out there, they can't cough up and prove. In fact, everything they've said turns out to be quite the opposite. And that's defamation of character, if nothing else. They've already been busted in so many tales, y'all, just like being married privately 3 days prior. Now the Sun put out their marriage certificate showing that was never the truth. And the Queen is so confused. She doesn't understand what's going on. What exactly is it that they're after? Harry refuses to speak to the Queen. She can't get through to him. They're saying the Queen's extremely worried about his fragile mental health. She would like to sit down with him and talk about this title they want for Archie. Even though in the beginning they said they didn't want one. Even Doria has since come out saying she never wanted the child to have a title. Knowing he wasn't going to grow up in the family wouldn't make any sense. Meanwhile, people are supporting Prince William. The CEO of Centerpoint said there's not a thing racist about William. I've known him for years. In fact, he's quite the opposite, extremely kind and humble, down to earth, with a good nature. He even slept with this man on the streets to experience life as a homeless person. Harry would never do that, ever. You know, I always thought that Meghan looked like such a fake when she would interact with these children when they were out and about on royal duties. There was just something about her. I didn't trust her. I've never trusted her, not from the jump, especially around kids. I'm sure you guys have heard that story that Lady Colin Campbell told on her channel the other day. It was quite interesting. Meghan was making such a huge deal out of Ivy, Jessica Maroney's daughter, leading up to the wedding and even on the wedding day. Having Ivy pick on little Charlotte, and she herself, a grown woman, was picking on Charlotte. Who is that sick and disgusting to go after an innocent baby? She and Jessica went after Charlotte, y'all, a child, and had Ivy picking on this baby. That is so gross. And mentally disturbed, I might add. After Charlotte caught on to this, and her little heart was breaking, of course she cried. And instead of consoling this child like an auntie or a compassionate human being should, according to the eyewitness, instead of showing that child love and compassion, she says to this eyewitness, that right there is how children that receive everything they want growing up behave. I remember when one of her siblings, and I can't remember who, but they said don't trust her around kids. So it wasn't in our heads when we seen what we seen at that polo match. Little Louis was prancing around with his sunglasses on like toddlers do, trying to get a cutesy reaction from Meghan, and she didn't even look at the kid. She wouldn't. And the way she treated George at that polo match, totally uncalled for. That child was genuinely hurt. You could see it all over his face. At one point, she even looks over at the camera and shoots it a dirty look, like she's trying to communicate with somebody, get me the out of here, you know what I mean? Her entire demeanor stunk during that polo match, and it was directed towards them innocent children. That's what stood out most for me. So I've seen where some people are denying that story with Charlotte ever happened. I believe it did. Now, the only point that I have recognized to be a really good one regarding that incident with Charlotte is, why would Charlotte ever be left alone with Meghan and her buddies? That I'm not sure of. But I do believe that mistreatment took place, absolutely. You know, it just seems like she's always been nasty and rude for no reason. She even traumatized the photographer, y'all. She was that nasty to him. We all know she has a massive insecurity over them stanklins she walks on. She was so abusive to this photographer, threatening him up one side and down the next, saying she would make sure he would never work in the business again if he caught one bunion on photo. It shook this guy up so bad, he vowed he would never work with her again, no matter what the circumstances were. And she did the exact same thing to a videographer. She's just not very nice, y'all. She was super nasty on the set of Suits. That's why I'm not buying into any of these people that she used to work with coming out now defending her. I think all her former co-workers that are now trying to defend her, that once said that she was super difficult to ever work with, she caused so much crap on the set, it was an unpleasant experience to be around her. These people are more than likely unemployed for the most part since Suits ended. They need to stay relevant, therefore they're going to poke their head out defending her, because of course that's all eyes on them. She's being used just like she's always used people. Now, speaking of used, I don't understand exactly why Oprah felt the need, since they are neighbors and all, and I understand she was in Hawaii, but listen, why in the world did they feel the need to use a green screen to do these interviews? See, Oprah came out saying that she didn't use a green screen with Meghan and Harry, just everybody else. I'm not buying it. When I ran that video clip through that same website that analyzes these things for digital enhancements, I received the same exact results on Harry and Meghan's snippet that I did Obama's. And Obama, I'll tell you real quick, it was a green screen. So what in the world is all that about? Why does Oprah feel the need to lie? I'm thinking they're nowhere near Montecito. That's just my opinion. All of this seems to be one massive ball of shadiness, just like that bump she's toting around. There's nothing real about that in my opinion either. You can clearly see that this is not an authentic pregnant stomach. Number one, if she's due in June or July, she's absolutely the size of due any day now. At this growing rate, by the time, June or July gets here, they'll have to knock down the dang wall to get her out. Dang, if you want a child and you don't want to give birth to it, adopt it, surrogate, it doesn't matter. Tell the truth. These lies, man, they're going to bite them in the end. That's my point. I'm going to tell y'all, the more I look at this picture, the more it irks me. This picture right here says it all. It speaks volumes as to how life is in the Markle household. Meghan is the only one that matters. Look at how Harry's hiding his face. Nothing about this is normal. No wonder Prince Charles and the Queen are super worried about his mental state. That's not normal, y'all. None of this has been normal. None of it has. What he's doing to his brother, what he's doing to his family is not normal. And I have to be honest with you, I'm extremely proud of William. I think this is long overdue. Harry needs to learn a tough lesson. And I can't wait to see the outcome of all of this. I hope you're having a good day today. And as always, I do thank you for watching. I'll see you soon and we'll talk fast. Y'all please stay safe and be blessed.